welcome to this video. In this video, we'll talk about agent design pattern. In last video, we looked at the way that we can create basic agents. One with using a demo called Arduino, and another is using a no-code platform or NetN. In this video, we'll cover all the design patterns that are out there, and we will look at each one of them and how they are affected. Look at a broad perspective of these patterns. We get only four type of patterns that are here. One is being multiplexer, two usage, planning, and multi-agent. And we'll look at each pattern and we see what all components that are. Let's look at the first agent that is called reflection pattern. Here there are two type of agent works together to improve the output of the request that WHF has. Let's call the first agent as agent A and agent B. So agent A that have a role of to create output that is getting either from user or getting from our second agent mode agent B, where the continuous workflow goes as the user puts a request, the request goes to agent A, where it will create the response based on the user's ask. Instead of directly publishing this output to user, that it sends the output to agent B, that is our pretty agent or implement agent, where this agent creates improvement plan based on the output that agent has created, agent A has created. And based on the improvement, agent A will take all the improvements and it will evaluate the output that he has created. And it will then publish this output again to litigation or implementation, right? Where these loops continue for a second hand. And after that, we get an output that more better compared to the direct call of these agents, right? The way it is. So there are two criteria saying to stop this loop. The first criteria is being we can define a certain number of loop that we can say after the aggregation of 5 iteration, you can stop this continuous loop and it can give you whatever output it is better we use it. Right? This is the first criteria. The second criteria could be also where the second agent understands that the output that is generated from the first agent is good enough, and we can start using it, and it will produce a something token. For this example, I like this, I have given a token called entity and with its code, where if the agent A uses the implement plan and we got this token, that may agent B is satisfied with the responses. Now we can stop and send the responses back to the user. This is called the request pattern box. So as I mentioned before, there are variants of these patterns where directly only without having only two agents that communicates, we can use another middleware of two ellipses where I'm directly producing the output here and sending it to agent B. Or we can have two uses where we send the output to the tool instead of the loop that goes between agent A and agent B. The loop continues between these two ellipses where the agent B has abilities to use the tools and it auto reflect on the others or the tool observation, and that produces the output and that goes to the pipeline, right? This is there are pattern variants that can present, but already if you look at the core idea of well-fixed pattern only having these two intents. So there are some problems. You can say that these limitations. There are some limitations that these pattern have. The first limitation is being the copy uses. If you know, there are two NLM agent sets and works together where they need to produce continuous output, and this agent will continuously produce improvements. Where this is so much token heavy, it will just ask for a single request, it goes in multiple counts, and then it also detection pattern. The exact type of tool usage pattern are the most popular pattern up there where people to use these tool usage pattern or various integrations for external tools. The output goes, the workflows goes at users puts a request at the already know this LLM agents are trained to its up at them. So they do not have what's going on in the world, and they for the simple reason what we are integrating is with our tools or simple functions. Values, functions or tools are nothing but the connectors that can connect to real part, things like API or any other certain functions that it can connect to and gather the results behalf of that. So some of there are popular tools called web search tool, not even different APIs. We can use Google API, CatD, and XR. So these are good the research tools are present. There are even we have HTML based tools that can write proper query and we can it's to push query that on our databases to get our results. And even we can use with our own type of functions that can connect different API and that would help our LLM models to capture the real world data. Right? As we already know about the as the workflow goes, the user will put in a request, the request will goes to the LLM, and if already been provided in our prompt that they have certain number of puts to use, they would, if the model is already trained like that, it would definitely go ahead and call these particular tools and will gather the results. And these results will come back to the LLM model where it properly lies the output and then says what uses back, right? In this pattern, the good advantage is we do not need to limit ourselves with the knowledge of the type, where we can use external tools, external data to capture, to produce a better output. This is the type of tool uses pattern that we have. There are other merits where we know that for entropy, we have NCP prototypes that it also secure reports where instead of directly calling a function on AKI, it uses server and client and server box to produce a singular output, just like a Pulitzer pattern. After two use pattern, we have a pattern called planet pattern. This is one of the crucial patterns that we can pick up and it follows to use all the above criteria that we already talked about. The first is being when we have a basic agent, we ask for a certain task. The LLM agent uses pre-trained knowledge or structured knowledge and then produces the answer. So that being basic agent. The second type of agent that we look at as a tool agent, where it use certain tool to complete its task. Then in planning pattern, it combines all of them where it properly plans the output that it makes to generate, that execute all of the tasks from task and then it observes based on the responses it gets from lesson. There are different type of project architecture that we have follow. One is being React, that is listening and acting. There are even further reboot instead of chain of multiple tasks. It batches out the type of way and solve the particular problem, and then it follows the idea of that. Right. So we talk about reasoning and acting in this particular planning pattern, where there are three different sections. Today's the reasoning and acting. The first part where it thinks about the user's art and it breaks down the user's ask to smaller chunks and then it execute these smaller chunks in the action tab. And whatever the output that it gets from this action tab goes to our observation part where it absorbs whatever the output of these actions and later on it rethinks about if this particular task you need to further break down or it can give the output that users needs. This is how it follows into a loop of thought, action, and observation, and later on it gives the output to the user. So this is a brief idea of how the React and work. We'll create further videos where we will look at the to create this agent from scratch. We will not use any of the agentic framework. We'll use single icon and other criteria to use LLMs and we create this prompting technique from scratch to understand how we prompting technique can solve a much more complex concept. So that is the plan pattern right now. As I mentioned, there are even benefits of this chain of terms of the it counts as a three of thoughts uh, where instead of directly breaking down what users are asked, it first plants different varieties. It can think through and then try to solve this problem. What it identifies what approach this particular you in what approach this particular task can be decided. It then follows a particular pattern instead of repetitive. So there are different ways that we can solve or use this man pattern. But for now, there are two, and the top big why used in our industry in the yeah and the React field. After our two planning pattern, the next pattern we call as multi-agent pattern. This is also a very popular one, as instead of only relying everything on a single agent or single LLM model, we divide that part to three or even more number of LLM agents. But the agent would take a care of only their particular part, and it will produce based on the requirement that we have already set. So for this example, I have created this type of agent that communicates between them and then produce the output that we need. So for this example, agent A that have a report writing capability where we can ask for a certain type of report that this editor need to write, and we can fit that into our system pump that would follow for this kind of method. In the second LLM agent where we have added our web search capability, these web search capabilities can come from any different tools. The tools could be the able EV equals to Google or even Grid search API or even using XR kindly or whatever out there. So this is what a agent that can call us to web search and tracker leakage result. The third agent that I have described here is a Bayesian model where it can interpret what's out there in the images or whatever images that I'm getting from in the report writing or from a research capability, and it can produce something from images to text version of the images. Right. Let's say if we the user asks about what are the top AI models or AI agents are out there, and they need to identify what are the benchmarks. So on given this request, this agent can then ask, as we know this particular agent doesn't have with the website capability, this agent can ask for this particular agent B to gather whatever output or the latest information about LLM model. And then it can produce, let's say, GPT 4.5, this mini emotional intelligent model. Uh, and it can talk about O1, it can talk about the anthropic concept, right? So this is this particular output of this agent then be communicated with vision model. It gives such result gets an image. We can farp that image on vision model, then it will interpret, and then it said up to the report writing model. Once we gather some text, we gather some images, and if there is some text, then it can flow back to our report writing agent. Then this report writing agent will collect all the information from the prediction, then it write a good report out there. So this is how we can solve one of this problem statement. But again, just like any other pattern, there are different variants. So this is a multi-agent communication pattern. We can see frameworks like Opalith have a very good implementers of this multi-agent conversation. But there are variants. This is like we have manager multi-agent manager patterns. So instead of directly communicating to even internally one agent manager, we can put a structure to them where in this particular example they uses arts or particular things to complete where this agent will take care of writing the report. But when it need to ask about the latest report, it can ask to this particular agent where again this agent have a website started and based on these pet searches, if we got any images, instead of that, we'll be using the images, naming this a report writing agent would ask this Vision Modern to get the rendered version of it. So from images to get some text around the images. that it can better use its inner output. So this is another variant of our multi-agent packets where they use multiple agents. It may not to be constructed differently. I've seen patterns where it uses even more than 10 different agents to gather reports and then goes back to the manager agent and that manager agent it reply to users. So yeah, as we looked at, there are these four packets. We looked at because we looked at who use blapping and multi-agent packet. In further videos, further we go through each agent and then we implement using those frameworks. So maybe I will be using framework Adno, Llama Index, and Langard. They are being the popular ones. And later on in those videos, I will also explain how we can create these patterns from scratch. Where mostly I will be using Olama and just in the API calls to those Olama models and create it from scratch. So stay tuned for those videos. Thank you.